Welcome back to another super awesome mix. My name is Matt Sidholm. Remember, as we go through our mix today, you can create your own at my.superawesomemix.com. Start for free and share it on any music streaming platform. Now, my guest today is the host of the Corcoran Entertainment Show podcast, as well as an actor, writer, and director. He is also a very proud Canadian, which is what brings him to us today. It is Franky Corcoran. Franky, welcome to Super Awesome Mix.
Hey, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we connected on Podmatch, and you kind of, talked about, Canadian artists, and we have actually some super fans from Canada, which is kind of awesome that we've been able to make that connection. And I had told you every now and then I'll mention like a Canadian artist, and I'm like, I think this is their biggest song or something. And then we'll get a message, and it's like, oh, you don't know about this album or that album. And so I thought it was great for you to come on and just bring us a mix of Canadian artists. So I'm really excited to go through this here. So talk about maybe the Canadian music scene, because I think we're all familiar with maybe some of the megastars that have come out of Canada, but it's actually a pretty wide array of stars from that part of the world.
Oh, we got so many. I mean, and I'm not trying to sound biased because I am Canadian, but no, we got so many incredible, and even some of the people I've included in my mix too are some local artists as well too. Here in Miramichi. I mean, it's always good. It's so good to see, as a local artist myself, and who's trying to make a name for himself, not necessarily in music because no one wants to hear me sing, and I don't want to hear me sing. But no, it's just a great way to let people know that there are a lot of amazing artists out there that maybe just because they might not be as well known as like some of like the bigger stars, like there's no Ella Langley or
Right.
some of the big names out there. Which is why two of the songs that I have on, I believe it's two of them. There's two of them that I have on here that are local, that I've really admired them as artists. First one is "Good Time to Write a Song" by the Mainlanders. They're a band based out of Moncton, New Brunswick, so about an hour away from me. And I think that was the first song that they ever wrote and put out there. So they're basically like a modern country band. And the song really kind of it resonated with me a lot because, I mean, as I said, I'm not a music writer or songwriter. I like, I'm a playwright. I'm working on my first novel as well too, so I'm always working on different things. And just, as the title says, there's always a good time to write a song. You know what I mean? Like, and that's always, so it's one of those things that, even like, as I said, even if you're not a songwriter, you can relate to it in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and that song, I mean, if we can kind of get into it, I mean, that one really stood out to me because I've listened to so many songs, and we've had artists on the show before, and I've kind of had them talk me through the process where they do talk about they had this moment, they sat down, they wrote this song within that moment, and I love the song has kind of a meta quality to it because it's like we all have those moments where it's like if you could just articulate your emotions right now, you could probably write a great song. And I think not all of us are gifted to do that, but I do like that they kind of point that out because I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Yes, there are all these moments in life where it's like, hey, you know what? Good time to write a song.
No, there's always, and like I always say, there's the best ideas sometimes come at the most random times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could be working, you could be having a terrible day at work, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, hey, I got a great idea for a song right now. And so that's kind of one of the reasons, like, the song kind of resonates with me a lot, just as a writer myself, and also locally. The Mainlanders are a great band. They're getting lots of traction now too. They're coming back on my podcast for, I think, the third or fourth time pretty soon,
nice.
because they got a couple big shows coming up. Love to highlight local artists on my podcast as well too. I mean, like, it's one of those things that still the fact that I've been lucky enough to get so many artists from all different parts of the world. Like last night, I got to interview Pete Murray. He's an Australian songwriter, and so getting to interview him, but then also being able to go back and interview somebody who's right in my hometown. It feels really really good. You want to highlight all those people as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think we've had a similar experience here doing this show because it's like we've had guests like yourself, we've had Canadians, we've had Australians, we've had people from England, like we've done all these interviews with people from around the world, and it's really cool to get introduced to music from everywhere. And we're based here in Texas, and so I really appreciated your opening track because you went with a country song. I hope God plays Fetch by Amber Walls. So is she one of those local artists there in Canada?
Yeah, she is too. She was on my podcast as well too. She's an insanely talented singer songwriter from Blackville, New Brunswick. It's here in It's in the Miramichi area. We're all such a small town that we kind of just all say it's connected. Um, but she just released that song back in January, somewhere like earlier this year,
Hmm.
and that song, as a pet owner myself, I had a dog, childhood dog, lost back in 2019. Had him for when I was a kid, and hearing some of the lyrics where it's like as the song says, I hope God plays fetch.
Yeah.
Like you kind of think about like your dogs who have passed away, and it's not necessarily about just dogs. It's about like people who have passed away in your life that you're like, I wonder what they're doing up there. I hope God's doing this with you and all that.
Right, right.
But the dog one in particular really really stood out to me because I always think about my first dog, and just like what's he doing up there. And I think about my my late grandmother as well too, who passed away 4 years ago. So she was such a sh- God was everything to her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's one of those things. I heard that and I was like, I'm sure she's just having the time of her life up there. You know what I mean? So I'm super. Every time you hear that song, you kind of get a little bit of goosebumps just hearing that and thinking like, okay, this is it feels real. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
something that really really touches you.
No, I agree. I think she's got such a beautiful voice, but also this song just on title alone, but also once you get into the lyrics, I mean, whether you've lost a pet or a loved one, it's like this one kind of hits you. So it did kind of have an emotional resonance to it right off the bat. And I've definitely got a few, dog lovers in my life who I want to share that one with because they've lost a pet. And I'm like, because I don't know. For me, it's like I don't know what to say sometimes in those situations. But I think this song maybe does a good job of encapsulating that a little bit.
Oh, it
Uh,
does 100%. And she's an insanely talented singer songwriter who, as I said, local, and she's certainly going places. Absolutely. So I want to make sure I highlighted her on this show as well.
okay, so your third track that you kind of opened with, and this is another country artist. So I just love how big country music is in Canada. But 321 by Brett Kissel.
The song really for me, like just listening to it, where it's like 3, 2, 1, counting down the hours.
Yeah.
Like I think we've all been in those situations where we've been away from family for a certain period of time, and you're like, I just want to get back to them. So you're just counting down the hours, and even and I mean, even if you're not the one who's away, it's somebody that you love who is out of town or something like that, and you're just counting down the hours until they come home. So I think that's one that everybody can relate to. I mean, Brett Kissel's got so many incredible songs, but that was the one for me that always really really stood out as probably my favorite of them.
Yeah, and I'm sure for a musician who, I mean, nowadays you don't necessarily sell a billion albums and make a ton of money that way. You make it by touring. And so I imagine this he spends a lot of time away from home, but anybody who's out there on the road a good bit, you can relate to this one. He does a great job singing it. So going back to what you said about the festival, has that been an evolution? I think in Canada where because I think growing up, there was definitely some rock bands, and we're going to get to them later in your mix. That rock was kind of a a thing in Canada, right? And you said now it's been rebranded as a country, festival. Has that been kind of the tendency? Has that been sort of, is that now the predominant genre?
It kind of it's I shouldn't say that it's like the main genre, because I mean obviously there's still so many other incredible genres and stuff out there. But when you kind of look at and you compare what festivals and what singer songwriters are getting the most traction, a lot of it nowadays is country. Like we got two radio stations here, 99.3 The River, which is a country station, and then Rewind 95.9, which is kind of just a mixture of everything,
Hmm.
old stuff, and but you hear the country stations getting a lot of traction. I wouldn't say more than the other, because I mean,
Yeah.
people obviously have their own taste, but I've really noticed, at least within the last few years, that country music has really spiked in popularity. I mean, like, well, there's so many artists now that we see. I remember back in my day, I feel like an old guy. Back in my day, it was like Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
Usher, like those types of big artists. And nowadays, it's a lot of Morgan Wallen, Luke
Yeah.
Combs, Taylor Swift is a
Hmm.
big one too. I mean, she's kind of branched out in many different genres, but she really started off in country.
Yep.
So I'd say it's kind of been, yeah, like I've noticed. I mean, obviously, it's not to say that country music is the only thing people listen, because I know lots of people that they're like, I hate country, and
Right.
that's the best part about art, is that it's all subjective. So, but I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't kind of a big change or increase in popularity over the last few years. I'm not sure if it's had to do with the pandemic, and we've had a lot of amazing artists come out of it
Hmm.
through that, but country certainly has really upped in popularity.
Yeah, and I think we see something similar in the U.S. where we have seen a lot of country artists go on kind of the bigger stadium tours in more recent years. But I love what you did here in your mix. We started out with kind of some local country, and then now we're going to shift to some bands I think a lot of our listeners have probably heard of, and definitely more in the rock genre. So track 4 is Bobcaygeon by the Tragically Hip.
Yes, that one there for me, it's like that's just such a, obviously the Tragically Hip. I mean, they're one of the greatest there is. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like not just in just Canadian, but just for me, I find just period. And it's just one. It just kind of, it's one of those songs that you're like, it's sometimes not about the lyrics in particular. For me, Bobcaygeon is just one of those ones that I listen to, and it's just like you just kind of feel at home in a way. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of feel like this song just really makes me proud to be who I am. This song just makes me, it kind of just gives it's a smooth, slower type of feeling song, and especially hits hard now. Of course, we don't have Gord Downey anymore,
Mhm.
and it's just one one of my go to feel good songs type thing. Like if I just want to be uplifted, Bob Cajun is certainly one of those.
Yeah, and I had to look up what Bobcaygeon was. Obviously, I'm not Canadian, but when I saw some pictures of that area and coupled it with the song, I think I got even more the peaceful quality that you talk about from there. It sounds like it's a really nice, probably around this time too, a beautiful area in Canada.
Oh, gorgeous! I haven't been there myself, but just seeing all the pictures and stuff like that, and you can just play the song in the background and look at the pictures, and it just really, it gives you that feeling of like, okay, I kind of want to go there now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Especially coming here in Texas, where it's significantly warmer than it is there. I think I'd rather be by the water
Yes.
up in Canada. Um, all right, track 5. We can't have a mix about Canadian music without these guys. This is Closer to the Heart by Rush.
By Rush. That, I mean, I don't play guitar. I have interest in learning how to play it. I tried years ago, and then it was just one of those things. It was kind of like when you're a kid and you are so into sports, and then you kind of just fall off, and then you forget that you ever played sports. Um, that was me with basketball. Yeah, basketball all star in elementary school, and then I got to middle school, and I just no, I'm gonna do theater now. But but that's one. That intro is the one thing that I said when I learned to play guitar. I want to learn how to do that intro.
Yeah.
Like that. That's such a cool intro. And I remember I first heard that song on Trailer Park Boys is where I first heard that song.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I think it was one of my favorite episodes of the show, which is so of course Bubbles. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Trailer Park
I
Boys.
am. Yes.
Yeah, the episode, it's Bubbles wants to go to a Rush concert, and then Mr. Leahy scalps tickets, and they can't go, so they sneak into there. And then Bubbles ends up getting to play on stage with Alex Lifeson. And then at the very end, him and Alex Lifeson just get to hang out after the show because Alex is so grateful for Bubbles stepping in for him and to help out. And so he's like, I'm trying to learn the intro to Closer to the Heart. And so Alex kind of teaches him. And it's such a beautiful moment. You know what I mean? It's like just kind of seeing like two Canadian icons, one of the greatest, guitarists in Canada, and then one of the most iconic characters in Bubbles, just kind of coming together and playing this beautiful, beautiful song. And it's every time I hear the song, I just think back to that episode, which is one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to go back and rewatch that one because that's really cool. This song, I mean, I love Rush. I know so many of their songs. I knew this one, but it kind of hit differently. I hadn't heard this one in a while, and it's so cool, I think, with this show because people will bring music on that I've heard before, and it just hits you a little differently than it did before, like something like That Story, or even just really getting into the lyrics this time. I mean, it really it's really actually a beautifully written song, but also awesome guitar and awesome drums, and just, I mean, Rush is just so great. So.
Oh, it's Rush. Oh my gosh. Like you can never go wrong with them. And I mean, like, even I was like, I want to include a Rush song on here, but I'm like, which one do I include? Like Tom Sawyer, I want to put on there. Limelight, I want to put on there. Fly by Night, I want to put on. And I'm like, Close to the Heart was always like, it's there's something about that. I mean, like, I'm not sure if it's because of the Trailer Park Boys connection or what it was, but I always just loved that intro. I said, okay, that's going to have to beat it up. Because if I put Tom Sawyer, I think that's probably like their best known song. So I'm like, people would almost expect it,
Yes. No, I do the same thing sometimes. It's like I'll bring on an artist and then it's like I want to do the, like, I don't know, 9th or 10th best song by them. It's like, yeah, look at this one, right? You haven't even gotten to this one. So
it'd be great. Like if I was to pick an Ella Langley song and people would expect that I would choose in Texas.
Texas.
I would actually choose Bottom of Your Boots is my favorite one by her. So yeah.
All right. Well, now this one's a very popular one by this band. Okay, track 6. This is If I Had $1 Million by Barenaked Ladies.
Yes, that one there. It's my dad kind of says that because I'm, something that's kind of a joke or like a joke between me and my family is that I'm always tighter than bark to a tree when it comes to money. I hate spending money sometimes. So this song would come on and my dad be like, hey, this is you. If you had $1 million, like, he said, if you had $1 million, you probably wouldn't spend a dime. You know what I mean? And no, it's just, I just, it's one of those feel good songs too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just one of those ones that, and I mean, it's Barenaked Ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were here. They were actually here in New Brunswick a few years ago. They were doing a big show in Bathurst, which is about an hour away, for Hospitality Days, they call it. And I would have loved to go see that show because I mean they're just absolutely spectacular. They did of course the Big Bang Theory theme song as well too.
Yeah.
But If I Had $1 Million, it's just such a fun song. And same deal with Rush. I was like, I want to pick one of their songs. I was gonna pick Jane by Barenaked Ladies, but I don't know. I said if I had $1 million, I said because it's, as I said, it's an inside joke that that if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't spend it. I would invest it into stocks or something. I don't know, or donate it, or no, I probably wouldn't even donate it. I'd still keep it. No, I would donate it. But yeah, I just thought that was funny because every time that comes on, that's what my family says. This is your theme song.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, and Barenaked Ladies, I mean, they're so great. I mean, it's funny, outside the name, they're one of these bands that I think I had my kids listen to. Like I hate children's music, right? But like, so I always tried to find music that I could play for my kids that would be like, cool for them to listen to, and wouldn't have to worry about the lyrics or anything. And Bare Naked Ladies was a lot of that, including a song like this, because it was just kind of fun for them, but it was also a great song for me to listen to as well. So
No, exactly. Like just so much fun, and then like it's funny. I'll listen to it with my friends sometimes, and we'll kind of change up the lyrics. Like, if I had $1,000,000, I would buy this person a car, so I wouldn't have to drive them home every night from the party.
yeah.
You know, like we would just start frigging around with it. Yeah, no, that's always one of my favorite parts about the song. We just start.
That is
I'm
a
like,
great one too.
if
Yeah.
I had $1,000,000, I would fly to Matt's house and we do a podcast in person. I don't
There
know,
you
like
go. Yes.
something
Come on down
like
to
that.
Texas. There
Go
you
down to
go.
Texas. She was in Texas, I can tell.
See, you can sing a little bit. I heard that right there.
I
Yeah.
don't advertise it. I don't advertise that.
All right. Now, shifting gears here. Track 7. This is Paddy Murphy by Great Big Sea.
This is the one this is such a good party song.
Yes.
This is such a good party song. I love it. As soon as it, like, I was at, there's an Irish festival that goes on here in Miramichi. It just happened this past weekend. Anytime that song comes on, it's just like, it's the crowd loses their mind. I'm losing my mind because it's just such an iconic song. And even one of my friends, he plays guitar, and whenever we have parties at his house, he'll play different songs, and that's one of the songs he plays. And it's just iconic. Like, we don't even need to look up lyrics. We all just know the lyrics just because
Wow.
it's just one of those ones. It gets the party going. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I love about it.
I can absolutely see how it gets the party going. But so this was like a massive hit, I guess, in Canada, because I had never heard the song before.
Oh, massive
Okay.
hit. Yeah.
That's really interesting because really I was like, oh, okay, this is like a Canadian Irish drinking song. I was like, how come I haven't heard of this song before?
And it is. It's so iconic. And I mean, Great Big Sea. They got so many incredible songs that, but this is the one that I always go back to as probably like their best.
I love it. And it transitions well into track 8. You included "So Let's Go" by Alan Doyle, who I believe is the lead singer of Great Big Sea.
That's correct. Yeah, that was always the one that, you know, there's always different artists. Like, if they're a lead singer of a band and they think, oh, they can't be good by themselves. They can't be good solo. Like, yeah, have fun trying to pursue a solo career by yourself without us. So Let's Go is one that kind of just proved that, like, Alan Doyle is Alan Doyle. He was actually in Miramichi this month for a big festival, and I was unable to go. I wanted to go really, really bad, but I couldn't go.
Yeah.
And that was just one of those, like, just absolutely electric of a song that really just showed that this guy doesn't need anybody else to prove how good he is. There's some people, yes, you can kind of pick out in a crowd almost. Like, people like, okay, this guy's only good with other people.
Yeah.
Alan Doyle proved the opposite, that he can do a solo career without Great Big Sea.
Well, and it's such a different sound, right? Like, I'm listening to track 7 and then it goes right into track 8 and I'm like, these sound kind of alike, but not exactly. And then obviously I look it up and I'm like, oh, same singer. Okay, this now it all connects, but it's a very different sounding song. It's very like poppy and kind of fun and just very different from what you get in Great Big Sea. So I love that. I love kind of the versatility there. Has he done a lot of solo work since that?
He does quite a bit of solo work too. Yeah. And because he did, when he was in Miramichi, he did his acts by himself. I think he had some people backing him up and stuff, but no, he's one of the greatest. And I mean, like, he sells out venues. Like, he there was also another show he did in Moncton, which is about an hour away from me. I think it was the Moncton Coliseum, which, it's a Coliseum. It's a big place. He sold the whole place out. So
wow.
He's powerful. He's a powerful Canadian musician. People hear that name and they, it just draws people like bugs to a moth, or a moth to a bug zapper.
Yeah. All right. So track 9. I love that you included a song like this on here. This is Wavin' Flag by Young Artists for Haiti.
Yes, this happened after the earthquake in Haiti back in 2010, and so all the Canadian artists came together to sing "Wavin' Flag." And I remember hearing this after, because I think it might have been a school assembly. I would have been like fifth or sixth grade at the time,
Okay.
and I remember when they played this for an assembly, and it was really powerful. It was so powerful. Obviously, there were some kids in the class. They heard Justin Bieber at the end, and they went, "Oh my god, it's Justin Bieber!" And meanwhile, all the girls were like freaking out. "Oh my god, it's
Sure.
Justin Bieber!"
Yeah.
But no, it was a great way to just come together and show support for what happened in Haiti. That it was just great. You got Avril Lavigne, you had as I said, Justin Bieber, like all the Canadian artists came together to sing a song. Just to show some support. I mean, obviously, nothing always drove me more mad than people who would say, "Is that all you're going to do to help? You're not going to donate money?"
Right.
It's like, no, they
Right.
donated money, and they're also publicly coming together for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought it was a great way for them to show support for just the terrible things that happen up there.
Well, and it's funny because I didn't even realize they had done this, right? And you said it came out in 2010. I didn't realize this was out there, but there was very much something I think in the 80s that happened multiple times over, right? Like you had "Do They Know It's Christmas" over there in the UK. They had "We Are the World" here in the US, and then there was even an anti-apartheid one that came out. And so I just think it's great that artists are still doing this and kind of coming together and being like, let's put together sort of a super recording here of like all our voices and kind of get it out there. So it's a little something for everyone here. I love it, and it's a great way to raise awareness.
It really is too, and just to come together and just to be show them like, hey, like, we're thinking of you guys. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like, it's funny. I saw some comments going like, "What did you like?" People would always hate on Justin Bieber no matter what,
sure.
and be like, "Well,
Yeah,
what's he? What does he care?" Blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, what are you doing to help them?
right.
Like, he donated like millions of dollars to help
Yeah.
them, and meanwhile, you're
Well, I'm
sitting
gonna
there
make
behind a
fun of the guy trying to help. That's what I'm gonna
yeah,
do.
yeah. I'm just gonna sit behind the keyboard and pretend, like it's like, come on, guys, like the guy's doing good work here with this guy.
Yeah. All right. So you finished the mix here with 3 heavy hitters out of Canada. Track 10, "Hallelujah" by Leonard Cohen.
You can't go wrong. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's some of those
Yeah.
songs you can't go wrong. And I'll be honest, when I was looking up Canadian songs, so I got to number 10, and I was like, I'm just gonna look up some others and just see. Hallelujah came up. I said, Leonard Cohen's Canadian? I didn't know that. I swear to God, I did not know he was Canadian. I said, "Oh shoot!" So you helped force me to learn something new. So first of
Yes.
all,
You're
thank you for that,
welcome.
Matt.
You're welcome.
Uh, but I mean, Hallelujah. I mean, like, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that song right there. It's just so. It's just one of the greatest songs of all time, really. Whether it's a funeral or it's just you're just reflecting on life. It's just one of those feel good songs, or like maybe not a feel good song. It makes you think. It's one of those thinking songs,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
about
it's
everything in life.
moving, right? Like it's definitely, I mean, it's an amazing song. Jeff Buckley had a version of it that became pretty famous as well. This is the original one. I mean, yeah, what can you say? I mean, it's just incredible lyrics, vocally it's incredible here. And yeah, I mean, love that you included it, and love that you were able to discover that Leonard Cohen is in fact Canadian. I think that's
It's so
awesome.
funny. I don't know how I didn't know that before, and then I was just like looking up Canadian songs and Leonard Cohen. I said, "What? Okay, Hallelujah is going on there then."
All right, well, another very famous Canadian, track 11, "Big Yellow Taxi" by Joni Mitchell.
That's another song that just kind of gets the party going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I always find, or maybe not. Maybe it's not as I should say it's as hyped as, say, like Patty Murphy, but it's just one of
sure.
those ones that it kind of just gets it kind of just gets you excited. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's one of those ones that it's just like the lyrics. Everybody knows the lyrics to
Yes.
it, and so it kind of just keeps the party alive. You know?
Yeah, and I mean it's funny because I agree. It's very like upbeat. It's an anti-environment, or I'm not anti-environment. It's an environmental song. And people may know this one because Counting Crows redid it, and it was like almost a shot for shot remake of this song. But I kind of like the Joni Mitchell version myself. I just think her voice brings a little bit more emotion to it, maybe than what Counting Crows did. And I love Counting Crows, so it's not a knock on them. But I just think the original was the better version. But
Well, she's
that's
also Canadian
interesting.
too.
I go ahead.
She's also Canadian.
She's also Canadian, right? Yeah.
That adds to it.
That adds to it for sure. All right, well, let's bring us home. And this was an artist. You said this about Leonard Cohen earlier. I did not know these guys were Canadian. Okay, track 12. This is Taking Care of Business by Bachman-Turner Overdrive.
And I'll be honest too, that was also another one that I didn't know either. So thank you, Matt.
You're
for
welcome.
making me look into Canadian artists and finding out who's actually Canadian, who's not.
Yeah,
That's
this
such
is,
a
I
fun
mean,
one.
obviously a massive hit, right? I mean, BTO had so many big hits. This, I don't know if this or You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. I mean, I don't know which one's bigger, but
I
they have
chose
so
this
many
one.
great
This
songs.
was like
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs in middle school.
Okay. Yeah. No, and this one, I mean, this is another one that'll get the party going, right? Like you could throw this on and people know this song. People will get into it for sure.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's just where did I first hear it from? I first heard it, I think it was in it was a movie. I can't remember what movie it was. Oh, it was Heath Ledger. It was a Heath Ledger movie, A Knight's Tale was where I first heard the
Oh,
song.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's where I first heard the
I
song.
remember that one.
And then just from there it was kind of history from there. I ended up watching it again and found out what the song was. And no, it's just such a fun song that, as we said, it just kind of keeps the party going.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a terrible 80s movie starring Jim Belushi called Taking Care of Business, which I think might have used this as a theme song. So if you're into bad movies, you may want to check that one out.
I like any movie. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, well there you go.
I like that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like
good.
we can bash on those movies all we want, like, like Grown Ups. But it's like Grown Ups is supposed to be silly, is the thing. You know what I mean?
It is. Yes. Yes. No, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, Frankie, thank you so much for bringing this Canadian super awesome mix to our listeners. Now tell the people out there where they can find you and your show and more of everything that you do.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Corcoran Entertainment. You can check out my podcast, The Corcoran Entertainment Show. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And you can also follow me on Twitter. It's not really connected to Corcoran Entertainment. It's just my Twitter account at Franky Corcoran. And yeah, and be sure, guys, to keep tuning in to Super Awesome Mix. It's a great podcast. And thank you, Matt, for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. And helping me learn more about the Canadian art scene.
Happy to help. Happy to help. No, thanks for coming on. We'll include all those links in the show notes. And of course, you can go to my.superawesomemix.com and create your own super awesome mix today for free. And of course, that works on all music streaming platforms. So that's it for us today. We are going to go work on some more super awesome mixes. But for Frankie, this is Matt, and we'll see you next time.